Right. Welcome to another 3 questions about the Pain Diaries. As always, our first question is, who are you?
Well, I'm Eloise Carr, and I'm a nurse by background, and I'm a full professor with tenure at the University of Calgary in the Faculty of Nursing. And I recently came to Canada, if you haven't guessed from my accent, from the UK just last year.
Wow, you you haven't been here very long. So how did you get wrapped up so quickly in the Pain Diaries?
Well, I had an association by Dr. Chris Spanswick, who, as you know, leads the Calgary Pain Centre here, and he and I had known each other in the UK, and I had always been interested in his work and certainly in his move to Canada. So we kept in touch, and he was very, should I say, persuasive about me making the emigration move. But Dr. Spanswick's clinic that I've been visiting since I arrived on a very sort of informal basis soon gave rise to recognising a lot of creative approaches to the whole conundrum around chronic pain. And I liked a lot of the people I've met. And through those conversations, I became aware that there'd been this play called The Pain Diaries, a love story.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, I missed it. That's not fair. Is there a video? And that led me to track down Deb Nicholson one day at the Calgary Pain Centre. And as they say, the rest is history.
Yes, it is. That's interesting. So, do you like movies?
I do. I'm probably quite picky. I don't watch them a lot of the time. I sort of need to be drawn into them. I like particularly movies about relationships. And at the moment, I particularly like movies set in Canada. They give me a good sense of the country I'm now living in.
Right. That is interesting. So obviously, emotionally, people can get things from movies if you're trying to get a sense of your country from movies and things. Mm-hmm. But what is a scientist doing getting mixed up with movie making? What is it that you think we can get out of this?
If I go back to the stage of thinking I teach pain, I teach students, medical students, nursing students, etc., and qualified staff. I try to be passionate, I try to be enthusiastic, but sometimes you cannot get across the real lived experience of what it's like to endure chronic pain. And that may be true for many things: multiple sclerosis, a skin condition, psoriasis. How do you really get that person to live in that other person's skin? And I think movies can take you into somebody else's life, take you into somebody else's world, without preaching, without it being academic. You're enjoying it, and at the same time you're learning. And I think that's a wonderful combination.
That's fascinating. And then in the world of universities and research, we call that KT, right?
Absolutely. Taking the research, taking those studies, the scientific projects that have been done, they get written up in journals and they sit on a shelf. They might get read by a few other academics and hopefully clinicians. But actually taking your practice findings or taking your research findings into practice is that whole twist of knowledge translation, which is critical today. Funders don't want research that sits on shelves. They want research that makes a difference. And a film can make a difference. And I'd like to see that moved into practice.
That's fascinating. Thank you so much for your time and all that information.
My pleasure.